government. I'm like, no, I'm just anti the way the government is running right now. We need a government. We just don't need the current style of government.
And I don't think, to me, when the government becomes big and they take over everything, that's socialism. Which socialism leads to? Communism. And I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exact steps it takes, you know. I mean, when you allow unions to be in the government sector, they could be in the public sector. I mean, I still disagree with them all around, but when you get them in the government sector, then you really got an issue. And, I don't know. Our currently, or the messed up way it's running now is definitely not the limited government that the founding fathers hoped the people would keep in check, you know. I mean, they ultimately left it up to the people. You know, they're like, hopefully they'll be smart enough. The reason, they didn't set term limits is because they had faith in the people thinking, oh, these people will be smart enough to vote them out. They won't keep voting for them. Well, I guess they were sadly mistaken.
Back then, they didn't really know what a supertramp was, so they was, they wasn't planning for the kind of idiocy that we have to put up with. I told them anti-government. I'm anti-libtard. That's what I am. But if you want to name me I'm anti-libtard. And when the libtards run the government, I'll be perfectly fine with the government.
And I called Charlie a liberal last week. I was like, Charlie, you ain't nothing. You're just a closet liberal, man. That's all you. He always he was for going over to Ukraine, and he always flip flops on his stances, and I'm pretty steady. It's like, this is how I feel, and until you can change my mind, I don't usually switch.
Oh, Charlie flip flop.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of other people, what they have a hard time doing is analyzing how they were wrong in the first place. You know, I try not to try to be on the right side, but on the wrong side. But when you find yourself on the wrong side, you need to sit and analyze how you ended up on the wrong side. Okay, all right, I see how I was misled. All right, I need to be on the lookout for that in the future. And I think all he ever did was get convinced that, no, it's not for Ukraine. But he never stopped to ever think, well, how did I ever get on the wrong side in the first place? That I don't know. Like I said, I try to limit myself of ending up on the wrong side from the get-go. But if you do, you got to go, okay, how did this happen? How did I get fooled here?
Yep, and I can only imagine what the next nightmare's going to be about. Maryland and the conspiracy theorists already out there where there was... Look, I watched that video, the Laval video, and I didn't see no explosives go off. And then I seen a video that made it look like explosions went off. And it's like, okay, one video might be right, one video might be wrong, but you gotta show me proof of which one's right and which one's wrong. Because I'm going to take with the initial footage, someone sitting there watching this go on and be like, oh crap, look at this going on. Rather than the one after that was looked at after someone else and maybe edited. Because I don't know, man. Just crazy.
Well, it sure looks to me as simple as what the explanation is complete tricks on it, you know, and I think it's as simple as hey, we've lost power, so you know, and yeah, you'll see some sparks and stuff like that. Yeah, you'll see that from the original one, you know, just where you're looking at it from downriver or whatever. You'll see sparks. Because obviously there's a bunch of power cables running across there for lights and all kinds of stuff. You're gonna see some sort of sparks going on, and then if you use the other one, the other one, which I don't even think it's been doctored probably. I think the one where you're looking up the bridge, like the cameras showing the cars that would be going up the bridge or coming off the bridge, off the steel structure part of it. You see that big flash of sparks and all that. Well, that was probably the same thing, only, you know, it had a different angle to it. Okay, all right. You know, so yeah, the conspiracy theorists, you know, it's, I don't know. Everything, you know, that's the world we live in nowadays. Everything, you know, can't be conspiratorial, and these things, the internet bears them out right away. So yeah. So we gotta sit here and calm down and go, okay. I think it's possibly as simple as what it was there, and how the port system can be. Maybe the port, but the port system as a whole, I don't know. I don't know. They continue as the days go on to grow even bigger and bigger and bigger. That's how conspiracies work.
So I'll just wait for Charlie to put in his mouth, and I'll be like, "You're like a damn flop." That's what.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, not everybody, man, you know, yeah, it's not a good deal, but yeah, if they really wanted to make a big bang, you know, they would have done it with, you know, I don't know. I think it's as simple as it looks to be, you know. We've lost power, you know, and we can't steer the ship, and we're on a course, you know, like whatever, it is what it is. But what internet? We know the internet. But yeah, we'll have to tune in tonight there. I'll have our local net for a while while the regular one's going on there on 2021. But I'll have to tune in.
Yep. Like I said, 2021's dying, man. Unless you're on it, or I'm on it, or Phil, or it's quiet.
I hear you. You know, you talk about conspiracies. I mean, there's a group of people that think the Earth is flat. You know, so I don't know how they come to that conclusion. With what seems to be pretty good evidence that the Earth is not flat, but I guess that it's hard to believe that they think the Earth.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Flat Earth still exists. Insane. That's what you just call blatant ignorance. It's stupidity. That's all that needs to be said about that.
Yeah, I mean, man, imagine the time has to be invested to come up with the theories as to how that works. I mean, I hate to even go on their site, but it'd be interesting. I'm like, how's the sun work? You know, it goes over here, but then how does it get back over here again if it's just a flat deal? I don't know. They probably spent a lot of time trying to figure that one out. I don't know. It's a weird deal. So yeah, there's people that are easily fooled out there, especially with the power of the internet nowadays.
Yeah, neither was the sunrise and sunset. You wouldn't see the gradual sunset and the gradual sunrise. It would be like digital. It's there, it's not there.
We're just living in one big Truman Show dome or whatever. I don't know.
Still here, fellas. KQ4CCM. Talking with Rich over on Mike's place there. He's talking at me on Mike. Probably going to go by and see him here in a little bit. Just wanted to say I'm still here, fellas. I'm just on the sideline on over here on Brandon Leister on Mike's place, KK4FU. Be right back.
Right, KK4FU. But yeah, I have been over on 2021. The only time I've been over there is with you and Phil and Andy. I mean, not Andy, Alan.
I hear you. Yeah, I spent limited time over there. Especially after my big blow up that night. We've peacefully made amends through it a little bit there, kind of like maybe I was way over the top as far as my what I all said and everything like that, but I still stand behind it there, but I was like, the booze, I probably shouldn't have pulled all that out at one punch, but ever since then, I've been kind of limited over there.
I don't really see, I mean, I didn't hear it, but I don't see anything wrong. I mean, you kind of hit, the only thing I did a little differently last week was, you always say, he always says I live in a bubble, which I do. We all live in our own little bubbles in our own little world. But let's look at my bubble compared to these bubbles, running is a little bit better, because I'm pretty sure my bubble's running pretty good right now.
You bring up a good point, and I've probably said this a handful of times, and I don't think I was the one that ever came up with the idea. But nowadays, with that internet, we do all kind of live in our own little made-up bubble. Now, our bubbles are, similar-ish in thought processes and stuff like that with each other, but it's not the old, just as an illustration, the old days of, Ted Koppel or Walter Cronkite being on TV. Everybody, before the internet, everybody would go home and then they'd come back to work the next day and they pretty much have the same things to talk about. Could kind of keep people united, whether they were on the right page or the wrong page, but either way, they'd all go home and watch the same stuff. And now, our own little bubbles with the internet, while they're similar-ish and parallel-ish, I guess, to make up words. I don't think parallel-ish is a word, but anyways, you know what I'm getting at there. Watching similar stuff, but not the same stuff. So we come back to the table with similar ideas, but we had different sources. And I don't know. it's kind of separated ourselves that way or whatever. The whole crew at work doesn't come back to work the next day and talk about the same stuff because we created our own little news bubble at home there or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, I love the power of the internet, but I'm going to blame it for it being kind of the key to what caused this. You know, speed up of confusion and all kinds of stuff there. Maybe I don't know. Like I said, it's a wonderful tool, but boy, it can also be a very bad tool.
Yep, it's a rough tool, man. Like I said, that's why I love people that go on the internet and they find whatever they want, and it's like, okay, it's like we talk about the Green Initiative. For every scientist that says we're killing the, which I do believe we're killing the Earth, you can find a scientist that says, yeah, they take a New York picture, they take the same New York picture 50 years later, and you're like, the water's exactly at the same spot it was 50 years ago. What are you talking about, rising waters? It's like,
KQ4CCM.
It's like I tell people, I'm not saying we're not destroying our I think we're hurting it, but I think we contribute part of it. But it's like I tell people, this has happened before and it will happen again. Whether we survive it or not, it's a different ballgame. Dinosaurs were once here and ruled the earth and were the kings of this land. But look at what happened to them. The earth went up and bye-bye dinosaurs. Climate changed and bye-bye dinosaurs. And, they want to sit here and say, don't eat cows. Cows are the biggest producer. Then you have the Greenpeace people say, hey, don't kill the cows because we shouldn't be eating meat. And it's like, oh, you're freaking stupid. I'm not eating crickets and grasshoppers for you, man. I'm not doing it.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of money to be made. All you gotta do is follow the money when it comes to some of these things. Well, most of the things. Follow the money and you will find out why the crazy stuff is going on there. There's a lot of money invested in climate change or global warming or whatever the latest thing is they want to call it. There's a lot of money in studying that. Chicken Little falling. Oh boy, the sky is falling. All right, here's a bunch of money to figure out how to stop the sky from falling. You take away the money, and you'll get rid of most of the people that are on board with man-made climate change. It ain't that there ain't climate change. There's always been climate change. But man's effect on climate change, you take away their money, and you'll get rid of a lot of people. You'll get rid of 95% of the people that are on board with it once the money runs out.
I bet you God's laughing at us. He's like, I gave them cows for milk and food and goats for milk and food. But here they want to take a coconut and make coconut and soy milk. And they're like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah, since he used to live outside this world and outside of time and all that, yes, if he's like a supercomputer, he figures out how to worry about it and not worry about it. Hey, none of it he's worried about. He's saddened by it, but I guess he's not really worried about it. Yeah, he's probably just shaking his head. That's probably all he gets done is shaking his head. What? Of course, none of it's a surprise because he knows it's coming. But hey, to think like we do, yeah, he would be shaking his head, even though he's outside our way of thinking. But yeah, he was in human form, he'd be shaking his head going, what?
So he'd be looking at he's probably looking like, and they think they're that smart, huh? Wow. If I would have let them use half the brain, can you imagine what they could have done?
Yeah, and what's a weird one to think about is how he actually thinks, you know. It's kind of like, yeah, he's way outside our way of his knowledge and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a weird conceptual thing to think about there. You know, people also question, you know, what's heaven going to be like? And it's probably nothing we can even think of, you know. I mean, if you break it down, the laws of physics that work down here, well, guess who created these laws of physics that work down here? Heaven can be a totally different laws of physics that we have no concept of.
Well, that's why I got rid of it.
We know a little bit about it. We know it's going to be streets of gold and everything fancy, but we're not really going to, why it's going to be beautiful, that's not what we're going to be happy for. Because we're going to be, not, like I said, I mean, I would like to know, are we going to be able to, like, I mean, it's interesting, because there's questions. It's like, are we going to be hanging out with people, or is it going to be like, I know we're going to be praising the Lord up there and stuff like that, but it's like, are we going to be able to travel and see the whole world if we want to, and, you know, all that good stuff? It's going to be interesting. Definitely, yeah. I'm looking forward to it, rather than the other place, because I sure don't want to go to hell.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you get clues and hints and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I need to brush up more on some more of my biblical knowledge when it comes to the texts that have talked about it. You know, I'm listening to people who seem to be pretty knowledgeable in it. I get the impression of, well, it doesn't really seem to say that you're going to get to just go pick who you hang out with, you know. I mean, even if your brother or sister end up there, you may never see them, I guess. I don't know. Oh, got a phone call here. I'll be back in a bit. KF0, CSI.
Roger, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, I've started building a few hot spots. I've got another Sherry Pie on the way. I'm ready to rebuild another hut. Well, I've done tore it down, but I've Dave. Trucking it up. We're over here in Belmont, North Carolina, almost to South Carolina.
KQ4CCM.
Mike was asking me if I was going to get a chance to come down to meet him every night. When I got off schedule there, it messed me up, so I'm 1 week behind. So I got another week compared to what I normally would. That flight that I took out to California, I decided to do that, help them out. It has thrown me a week behind I'm even a week behind on my pay. So one of these days I'm hoping to get my schedule and everything lined back up. Fortunately, to get my 4-week bonus, which is what I count on, because it ain't a lot. That's $700 extra dollars bonus or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it pays another bill, so it pays phone bill, power bill, whatever. So it just ain't gonna work out this go round. Well, I've been thinking about it today, and I think we'll just go ahead and move to Saturday.
Well, CCM, I'm back monitored. I had to, was talking to, KA3JCA for a minute there. KQ4 to CCM.
A little early, so if we make it earlier, it might be too early in the day for me. If we move it later, it might be too late. So I was looking, and I don't think there's no big nets anyway on TGIF on Saturday at 8 p.m. So is that something that you would be good with, and as far as your schedule, with something like Saturday at 8 p.m. And also I'm available for a landline if you want to discuss it over on the landline stuff. Yeah, Roger. Well, whenever you feel like you want to, give me a landline there. We'll talk about a little bit more over the phone. The only reason why I said Friday, because most everybody gets off on Friday or whatever. But Saturday works just as good. It's more like and I guess Saturday would make more better sense because Friday's still the last work day for most people. So the whole goal was to catch up with everybody as a community, a social event, to see how everybody's doing, check on everybody, see if everybody's equipment's running smooth, if anybody's had any kind of issues. That way, it gives us another week maybe to research and see what we can find and contact people throughout the week, or if it's something that can be addressed the next net. That's kind of what I had in mind there. KQ4 CCM. working there, hand, that radio's working. Those silver tones set it off.
Yeah.
I was thinking about just to call it the Ratchet, not the Ratchet community that way. It doesn't exclude nobody, but it includes all. So Ratchet community net. The name is kind of self-explanatory. Ratchet's in the name for the fact that it's not going to be just, hey, the weather is 60 degrees right now, sunny, thank you for the check-in and bye, and see you go. We're going to let people, if they want to talk for 2 minutes about a subject, that's fine. It's a Ratchet style. It's a direct, but it is a round table conversation. It's a community. It's made for talking and socializing, learning, and getting to know people, things of that nature. So that's Ratchet community net. I think it would work. That's what we called the very first one. And that's what we put it on.
For CCM monitor.
K, Q, 4, C, C, M.
Oh yeah, yeah, right for that. That's a cool deal there. Bless you, stupid.
Keep left onto I-85 toward US 29 North.
K7GDM, are you copying me?
Hey Kevin, are you copying me on Rag 2, K7GDM?
Well, Dave, I'm over there on the rag chute, and I heard you hear
Roger, loud and clear, K7G, sounding good for him.
K7GDM, K7GDM.
Copying you 100%.
KQ4CCM right here on the Trucking Ham. God. Stupid son of a bitch.
GDM, are you copying me?
KQ4CCM.
Zero CSI. Andy, where did you go to there? I don't know if you were way off or what was. I was over on the KK4FU for a little bit with Rich, and then Dave come on. KCGM. Y'all still out there? KQ4CCM, Kings Mountain, North Carolina.